Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of Caffeinated. I hope you guys are doing incredibly well. If you're watching this later in VOD form on YouTube and or Twitch, I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I do want to thank you for watching that. But this is going to be the first pilot episode of what I consider to be a brand new stage in what I'm going to be making as far as live content goes that can also be converted over into something like YouTube video or anything along those lines. So with that being said, if you are watching on Twitch and I'm less interactive with the chat than I normally would be whenever I'm making a regular kind of live stream or any kind of live content like that, that is kind of exactly why. With that being said, the overall gist of how this show is going to work is that each and every night, Monday through Friday customarily, but I did want to do a special premiere here on the weekend since you guys can watch it over the weekend. Let me know what you guys think, give me some feedback, etc. But Monday through Friday, we're going to be going through and checking out the top gaming news of the previous day and also checking out what's happening as we are all waking up. I know that everybody has a specific kind of regiment that they go by. I know that everybody has a specific kind of schedule that they go by in the morning, and I feel like, you know, in my personal case, it's always nice to have something to watch as you are waking up. Yo, Tiff, welcome to the morning show. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are getting back from your trip incredibly soon. I've missed you dearly. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump in to the first news story that we have that I thought we would go ahead and check out. And that is that if you are on Google Maps, you can actually get Mario to guide you to your destination, which is absolutely incredible to me. So, Mario invades Google Maps to help you avoid bananas while driving. Let's go. That's a fantastic title from The Verge here. Google is celebrating Mario Day, March 10th. Mario, as you would... It's a god-awful pun. In style this year, Nintendo and Google have partnered up to bring Mario to Google Maps on iOS and Android. Mario Time, as Google calls it, will be available in the latest Google Maps mobile apps starting today. A new yellow question mark icon will appear next to destinations, which will be able to which will enable Mario to become the navigation arrow in his cart and accompany you along your commute. Overall, that's pretty much all that there is with this story. It's simply just the fact that you have a new Mario to guide you to your destination. Overall, I feel like the Mario Day kind of thing, as you know, the time of making this video, it is 3/10/2018, so there's a different kind of setup that you've got going on there. Overwhelmingly though, super interesting to see this kind of partnership between Google and Nintendo. I know that they have done collaborations in the past as far as Google Doodles and stuff along those lines go, but nothing this quite in depth. Obviously, it's not going to be anything gaming-wise, you know, there's nothing special here, but it certainly is interesting to see this being integrated into the phone capacity, I suppose. Regardless, fantastic for Nintendo fans overall. Not much depth to that one, not much meat there, you know, but at the same time, something that's pretty interesting. Moving along, Nintendo has filed a Switch patent that includes the Donkey Konga drums. Now, for those that don't know what the Donkey Konga drums are, that is simply an apparatus for you to go ahead and, you know, put out some beats to play a game that will allow you to use some conga drums. I am a huge fan of rhythm games. I know that there are a lot of fans of rhythm games out there. For this to be coming is something that is incredibly exciting for me because, you know, with the Switch, I'm trying to figure out new ways to go ahead and incorporate that game style into my daily life. Yo, what's going on? How are you? Welcome to the stream. I'm trying to incorporate that into my daily life more and more. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check this out. Nintendo has filed a patent for the Switch that includes Donkey Konga drums, as you can see here, which we'll go ahead and enlarge that a bit. So essentially what we've got here is the fact that you can plug these directly into the Switch, I suppose wirelessly through Bluetooth. That would be pretty cool overall, and then you've got pretty much divisions right here. So you've got one little area right here, another one right here, and I suppose this is kind of like your Guitar Hero setup, where you can hit the different sections of the drum and see what you can make with that. It looks like there's a button here, pretty interesting. Though this right here, keyboard, not sure about that. I suppose you can just type on the Switch in that way, shape, and form. Sort of interesting, I would say. The patent was filed in the US in August of 2017 and pertains to a set of extended input devices for the Nintendo Switch. See deal. $298? Okay, that's not really a deal. It has only been made public today. Examples shown include a keyboard peripheral and a pair of bongo drums that look similar to the device used in 2004's Donkey Konga for the Nintendo GameCube. That was a very unique game. Just the original was with bongos? Yeah, exactly, just as the original was with bongos. Now, the keyboard, though, I'm very confused about, because there's no integrated chat system into the Nintendo Switch. In the back of my mind, I'm trying to think and mull over why you would have to have some kind of keyboard on the Switch. If they are integrating some kind of user interaction system where you can send messages to one another, that would be absolutely fantastic, because when it comes down to it, the Switch is hindered in a lot of different ways when it comes to communicating with other players. I would play more online games if I could communicate directly in an apparatus that is not necessarily through an application that is on my cell phone. For those that don't know how it works whenever you're talking to somebody that is using a Nintendo Switch and you want to play online, there is an application that you download on your Android or iOS that essentially allows you to pretty much call them through a Discord-like service. Most people just end up using Discord, but it's incredibly, I guess the best way to put it is that it's incredibly inconvenient. That's what it just comes down to. And so if they did integrate some kind of chat option into the Switch itself, that would be an absolute game changer, because that would put it more on par with something like the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One. Both systems that, you know, I just mentioned there, the PS4 and the Xbox One, have a ton of issues when it comes to communication between players. I understand that it's not a perfect system whatsoever. It more than likely never will be. For those, I appreciate that follow recently. Much appreciated, my man. For those that have never tried to communicate through Discord, regardless of if you're playing on the PS4, Xbox One, or PC, I do want to make it very clear that if you use Discord, it makes things so incredibly simple. It makes things beyond simple. So for those that haven't tried it, I would highly recommend it. There's a mobile app for it. You can plug in whatever mic you want into your cell phone, your computer, your tablet, whatever it may be. 100% a fantastic program. I've got it going right here. This is how I literally talk to everybody in my community. It is absolutely fantastic. As a matter of fact, there's my pimp daddy. He's away right now, but he'll be back soon. Oh my god, there's my pimp daddy. He's actually in the chat right now. What up? Surprisingly, I'm still up. Surprisingly, I just got up. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Caffeinated. Hope you are doing well, and you're probably actually going to be going to bed. And a matter of fact, in about 2 hours, I'm going to be going to work. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me on the premiere episode of Caffeinated. It's nice to have people chilling in the chat from time to time. The example images, let me try again. The example image shows a vaguely familiar looking character flying through a woodland landscape. The bongo is being used by the power to power its, the bongo is being used by the user to power its aircraft. So essentially that's what we've got going on. This is going to be the gist of the game. That would be incredibly, hopefully it'll be a little bit more in depth than that. That doesn't look too appealing. But the cool thing here, this reminded me right here, is that if you do bring in conga drums that are similar to what we had on the GameCube, and you incorporate that into what the Switch has going on, that is super cool. And I love the fact that Nintendo is experimenting in this way on top of doing things like Nintendo Labo. For those that don't know what Labo is, it's essentially a cardboard peripheral kind of setup that allows you to use cardboard to create new peripherals for your Nintendo Switch. God, that's loud. Son of... Skip ahead a little bit. So this is essentially what Nintendo Labo is. I'm going to be going like... Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. So, super interesting idea. You know, we've talked about this before on many YouTube videos in the past, but it's something that has never been done before, and that's what I like about it. You know, Nintendo Labo may or may not pan out. It may or may not be something that people end up enjoying, but it's something that is going to go down in history as something that is very innovative, and it did bring new ideas to the table. Donkey Kong Country used bongo drums as well, as far as I remember. I believe so. I was never super into the Donkey Kong Country games, aside from the ones that were on the Game Boy. I played those a ton whenever I was a kid, and so that's pretty much my experience with it. I cannot wait for Tropical Freeze to come to the Switch, which should be coming relatively soon. Let's see if we can find that. Tropical Freeze for Nintendo Switch. It's going to be $60, May 4th, 2018. That is going to be fun. I watched an entire playthrough of this by Man vs. Game. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Little nugget in the rough, as they say. A nugget in the rough. But definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to Labo. Looking forward to seeing what these bongos actually do end up entailing and what kind of game those end up coming with. I would love to see it come at some point down the line. With that being said, moving on to the next story, Days Gone has been delayed. Now, for those that don't know what Days Gone is, it's pretty much one of the flagship PS4 titles that was coming out in 2018. And of course, as many people expected, it has been pushed back, and this could be very detrimental to this game. But let's go ahead and check out this article. Biker Zombie Horror Game was once planned for this year by Michael McWhorter. Believe you, yes, at Mike McWhorter. You can hit him up on Twitter, ask what his name is. Sony Ben's open world action game set in a post-pandemic world. Days Gone never had an officially announced release date, but it's now confirmed that the game won't make its way to PlayStation 4 until 2019. Days Gone was certainly expected to hit sometime in 2018. I personally thought that it would be around June or July. Suppose I was wrong about that. But the game page on PlayStation's website was recently updated with a 2019 release window. We've reached out to Sony for comment on the game's delay. A Sony rep confirmed the delay in a statement to US Gamer, but provided no further details or explanation for it. Sony announced Days Gone in 2016 at the year's E3. The game is set in a high desert of Pacific Northwest, and players will take on the role of Deacon St. Johnny, a mercenary and motorcycle club officer fighting for survival amid a zombie pandemic. Our most recent look at the game into E3 of 2017, Days Gone has been in development since early 2015. I'm not going to be looking at Polygon's look at that, but I did want to go on and check out the trailer itself, because it's been a while since I have actually checked out what this game has to offer. But this is what was going on with it last year at E3. Obviously, the game's beautiful. What are we running at? We're looking 30 frames per second. Oh my god, why? But no, so essentially this game, the draw of it is the fact that there are huge hordes of zombies. There are absolutely enormous hordes of zombies. Actually, you know what? We're gonna fast forward through a good bit of this. Hello. No, this is just beautiful. This is just this isn't the trailer that I want. Hold on. Going back. I think the announcement trailer is the one that I want. This is from 2016. Yeah, this is the one that I want. Maybe. Hell, it's good enough. But essentially, Days Gone was going to be the saving grace for PlayStation over the summer. Obviously, this isn't a perfect example. This is an ideal example of what happens whenever you announce a game too early. This game shouldn't have been announced until about the middle of 2017, I would say. Maybe not even E3 of 2017. If you are not prepared to release your game within about a year and a half of going ahead and announcing the game, then it probably shouldn't be announced. Now, there are some exceptions to this, I would say. I would say that if you are playing something along the lines of a Rockstar game, if you are planning to release something like a Valve game, perhaps, if you were going to be making a Portal 3 or something along those lines, there are certain franchises and there are certain games that have such a level of expectation and a level of hype that you can announce them 5-10 years in advance. I don't know, 10 years pushing it, but 5 years. You can announce something 5 years in advance that already has a pretty good reputation, and it will actually do fairly well, regardless of whenever you actually do end up putting out. Days Gone, though, this is the establishment of a brand new IP. You can't announce a brand new IP and expect people to continue to follow you along as you have all these twists and turns in the development process. Now, with that being taken into account, the game looks gorgeous. I'm loving what I'm seeing here with what we have with Days Gone. But I'm going to be interested to see what we talk about at E3 surrounding the game, what is shown off at this year's PlayStation Experience, which comes later on down the line. I feel like we're going to be getting a solid release date at the PlayStation Experience. I would be shocked if we got one at E3. Of course, it's always possible, but I feel like this game is going to be one that comes out probably towards the first part of 2019 in the same way that we are going to be getting a God of War release date here in the next couple of weeks, because that is one of the strangest spring releases for me. I did not expect God of War to be coming out in spring of 2018. It feels very much so like a fall or winter game for me in general. But with that being said, Days Gone has been delayed. For those that were looking forward to it, I do apologize sincerely. But let me know in the comment section down below or in the chat if you are actually looking forward to Days Gone, if you're going to be playing it on the PlayStation 4 when it does come out, or are you going to be bypassing this one? I was about jokingly saying Kingdom Hearts 3, yeah. Kingdom Hearts 3 is a borderline one. Kingdom Hearts 3 is a borderline one because I feel like when it comes down to Kingdom Hearts 3, is there actually a release date for that? I don't think there's a release date. Yeah, it just says 2018. I will be shocked if that one comes out in 2018, ladies and gents. I will be shocked if that one comes out in 2018. But with that being said, Kingdom Hearts 3 is feasibly doing that pretty well. I would say that Kingdom Hearts 3 is feasibly doing that pretty well. That is one of those games where there's such a level of expectation and a level of excitement that the hardcore fans, it could come out in 2023 and people would still be just as excited. Obviously a little bit pissed, but with that being said, they'd still buy your game, wouldn't they? Oh yeah, you better believe they would. Moving on to the Nintendo Direct recap. Now this comes to us from Kotaku by Kirk Hamilton, and this is essentially everything that was announced during the Nintendo Direct that was held earlier in the week, because quite frankly, I missed this one. I actually missed this one. I didn't get to see the Nintendo Direct, and I tend to watch them. I tend to check it out and see what's going on, but I didn't get around to watching this one. Of course, obviously, we got the announcement of a brand new Super Smash Bros., which is something that, for those Nintendo fans out there, for those that have a Switch, this is at the heart of what makes the Switch the Switch. The Super Smash Bros. Edition to the Nintendo Switch catalog is going to be a game changer. Super excited for Kingdom Hearts 3, so epic. I hope that it comes to the Switch. I don't know that'll happen, but I feel like it would be right at home there. I think that would be an incredibly interesting move, but we'll talk about that whenever we get more information, because, you know, E3 is coming right around the corner. I would be shocked if we didn't hear anything about Kingdom Hearts 3. But with Super Smash Bros., I mean, the fact that, hold on, let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. This right here is a Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. The fact that you can take one of these, one side of a Nintendo Switch controller, and expect to be able to control the entirety of a game of a match of Super Smash Bros. That is what the Switch is all about. This right here is what the Switch is all about. And so to see that actually coming to light, to see that actually beginning to fall into place, incredibly exciting for me. I cannot wait to see how it works. I'm not sure I'll buy it right out because I don't really have anyone to play locally with, and that's kind of the joy of you know, having something like a Super Smash Bros. But let's go ahead and scroll on down. So, of course, the first big story here, Super Smash Bros. Is coming to the Switch. Not the most surprising announcement, given how perfect the Switch seems like it'd be for portable Smash tournaments, but it's still cool to have it confirmed 100%. I suppose we're going to be getting Splatoon 2 characters mixed in with Super Smash Bros. I don't know about that. Seems like it's a little bit blasphemous to go ahead and put a Splatoon character in Super Smash, but it's cool to see the franchise expanding. And as a side note, I also saw a conspiracy theory as posted by Tim Geddes of Kinda Funny Games, who said that the score that is within the trailer for this game is notably different from those that have come in Smash games before. And so that leads him to believe that this is not a port, this is not something that is being ported over yet again from the Wii, this is going to be a brand new Smash experience. I think that's been confirmed as of the time that of the recording and the streaming of this this episode of Caffeinated, which hey guys, thanks for joining me on the first episode of Caffeinated. You guys are the OGs. You guys are the ones that are on board for the new level of content that I'm bringing to the table. Let me tell you right now, it's going to be a very interesting little road here, because this is way different than doing a live stream of video games. You know, I'm just sitting here talking to you, making eye contact in the camera. I saw Nintendo Direct for YouTube. Didn't get to see it live, unfortunately. Super cool things, though. Amazing things over there at the Nintendo headquarters. So let's jump back into it. Yes, I would love to be able to see this. Dylan's Dead Hat Breakers is coming to 3DS. What is this? What even is this? Dead Heat Breakers will be another game in the Dylan series, and this one lets you bring in your own character and play alongside Dylan if you like. If you, like me, really like Dylan's Rolling Western, you're probably stoked about this. Never heard this, but eShop, May 10th, get a full demo. That'll be exciting. The original Luigis Mansion is getting remade for 3DS. Why not Switch? Why isn't it on the Switch? I don't understand. But what I do love about this is the fact that Nintendo is obviously still putting a lot of focus on what they have going on with the 3DS. It's still going to be a very powerful sales driver for them going forward. Obviously, the 3DS has a huge category of games, or a catalog of games, rather. It has a huge fan base as well. And so whenever you combine these two elements together, you have a given winner. It is going to be, you know, a console that has a lot of legs still left in it. Even as of 2018, you can still get a lot of enjoyment out of a 3DS. Kind of a racing fighting sort of, this one is. I'm going to look into it. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and give that a little Google right here. Let's see what Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers is. Is there a video? Yes, it's a minute long. Not sponsored by Mountain Dew. Come on, baby. Let's do it.
Race down enemy Grox and rock them in battle to defend frontier villages. Yes, sir. Action meets tower defense in Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers. This time, the Red Flash himself, Dylan, will team up with your own animalized me character.
Relatively
And
interesting.
use your whole team.
I mean, it's not necessarily something that I would be playing, but for those that have a 3DS and for those that want to get in on this kind of experience, it certainly is one that
You'll need their help.
is unique to say the least. But I want to give it a shot. I might play it at some point along the line. I may end up buying another 3DS later on whenever they get cheaper, and obviously they're pretty cheap right now. But I would love to check one out whenever they're like 50 bucks on eBay. You know, get another one. Honestly, never heard about it. I didn't either, but it's kind of interesting, you know? It's kind of interesting. But original Luigis Mansion, this is going to be one that is definitely catering to longtime fans, and it is going to be selling 3DS units, you know, so many years after it launched. When did the 3DS actually launch? The 3DS launched in February of 2011. That is, oh my god, that is 7 years ago. That is over 7 years, and this thing is still getting brand new games. Still getting brand new games, and you know they're going to be doing the exact same thing with the Switch. That is amazing. The longevity of Nintendo products is mind-boggling to me. Moving along, LMAO Dark Souls Amiibo. LMAO, what? According to Nintendo, this amiibo will let you perform the popular Praise the Sun gesture with reckless abandon. I only owned one amiibo, but this might be my second, says Mark Hamilton, I think is what his name was. Kirk Hamilton. Whoopsies. Yes, this is very, very neat. I don't even use amiibo. I have never used an amiibo in my entire life. I don't plan on beginning to use amiibo, but let me tell you right now, looking from me to you, if this is available in my area, there is about a 95% chance of me going out of my way to find one because this is absolutely hilarious. Now, if I can perform the popular Praise the Sun gesture with reckless abandon, can I do that with anything? Can I be in Breath of the Wild and all of a sudden praise the sun? Is that an option? Can I be playing Super Mario Odyssey and all of a sudden just raise the hands up and just do it? Can I go for it? That'd be amazing. But also looking at the detail on this character figure right here, if this is actually what the figurine looks like, this is a quality little figurine. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. This is nice. This is very nice. So we're probably going to be checking that out later on down the line. I might go ahead and do an unboxing of that whenever it does become available in my area, in my local GameStop, Best Buy, etc. But super interesting right there. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is coming to the Switch. I heard nothing but good things about this game, but I didn't play it when it was on Wii U. Well, I didn't play Wii U when it was out in public. Well, it's still out in public, but I'm still not going to be playing it. I'm going to get that game. Wait. I'm going to get that game so much. There's been so many remakes of Mario games, so much new graphics. Going to get what game? Odyssey? Or the Luigi's Mansion? You have to fill me in. But yes, Treasure Tracker is coming, and it's an interesting port. I'm not sure that it's one that I will personally play, but I do know that it did very well on the Wii U. And so to see it coming to the Switch, I know that with every game that comes to the Switch, it breathes a brand new life into it. Luigi's Mansion, I want to play that, so I'm probably going to be playing that whenever I get my 3DS, like I said, later on down the line. But this is going to be bringing a whole new era of Toad Treasure Tracker, so this might even set it up for a sequel. I'm not exactly sure how that will go, but it would certainly be interesting to see. Next up, we've got South Park The Fractured Butthole is also coming to the Switch. Not really surprising here. I feel like it lends itself to the Switch just because it's not simple. You know, it's not a simple game per se, but it certainly does feel like it would fit the control scheme of the Switch. It would fit what the Switch is capable of overall. And so with that being taken into account, I'm excited to see it. Probably still not going to buy it, but the game is going to be... How much is it on the Switch, actually? Because the way that it tends to go with Switch games is that it's always overpriced. They're always overpriced, you know? Let's go to GameStop. Power to the players. See, it's only on PS4. The Fractured Butthole. I want to see it on the Switch. Hello? Yes. See, $60. It's going to be $60. Very clever title. Yeah, they always do well with the South Park puns and the little dirty little innuendos you get in there. But on April 24th, South Park The Fractured Butthole is coming out. It's going to be $59.99. $59.99. I mean, if you wanted to get the game, I've seen it go as low as I think $25, $20 on the PC, on the PS4, on the Xbox One. It's just one of those things where if you are going to be playing a Nintendo title, you are going to be paying a Nintendo tax. You understand what I'm saying here? There is going to be an additional level of money that you have to give that you shouldn't really have to give just because it's being ported to the Switch. With that being said, I know that there are a ton of people that are going to be playing that, and it's also cool to see Nintendo trying to be a little bit edgier, if you will. They're trying to branch out and not be so family-friendly as they were with the Wii U, as they have been with the 3DS. So that's something that is certainly unique, and it's cool to see. Still, though, really, really overpriced on that title, I would say. I think this one should be, I mean, $40 at this point, and the same thing is going to happen whenever Wolfenstein 2 comes out on the Switch as well. I forgot to mention that. Splatoon 2 is getting a bunch of new stuff. Nintendo showed off a teaser for the new Octo expansion for Splatoon 2, which will be the first paid DLC for the game. It's a single-player mode that casts you and an Octoling named Agent 8, who has made her way through 80 test facilities connected by the subway. Once you finish, you'll get to play in multiplayer as an Octoling. Nintendo has announced that because it also contains the number 8, 2018 is the year of the Octoling. That's pretty clever, actually. The Octo expansion will cost $20, not bad, and will be out this summer. So that's pretty cool overall. You know, you get some more gear. Got a new map that we're working with. It's pretty neat, I suppose.
For the hippest inklings, Wahoo World.
Wahoo World.
And what? Rank X is here.
Is that something I should know? Oh, this is like a Metal Gear kind of setup over here on the far right. I'm digging this.
Even higher than S+. More details are coming soon. Once you meet certain conditions, Callie will appear in Octo.
So that's cool that they're incorporating some single-player content in. This is like really dramatic. This is literally like whenever I wake up and get over-caffeinated. Oh my god. 100%. Okay, well, I'm done with the strutting. Okay, I've seen enough. So overall, that's what we've got going with Splatoon 2. Now, this is a game that I never played on the Switch, and I'm probably never going to play, to be honest, just because simply it's not necessarily what I'm looking for when it comes to a game. You know, but there were a ton of people that I talked to that played it and enjoyed it thoroughly, so it's nice to see that it is getting the treatment that it deserves, and kind of getting more and more content, because felt like with Splatoon 1, the one that came out on the Wii U, it wasn't abandoned after launch, but it certainly wasn't nurtured in the way that Splatoon 2 is being nurtured. So with that being said, brand new content expansion coming this summer for $20 for Splatoon 2 for those that enjoyed it. A few other things. Wario Ware Gold featuring 300 microgames hits 3DS on August 3rd. This should have been released a very long time ago. Wario Ware is one of the hidden gems. It is a diamond in the rough, a nugget in the rough, as we said earlier, of Nintendo's library. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story is being remade for the 3DS, along with Bowser Jr.'s Story, both for 2019. Man, they're pushing 3DS games out in 2019. That's going to be 8 years after the launch of the thing. I'm torn, man. I want them to continue loving the 3DS, but at the same time, I want the Switch to get more of these games. Like, God, focus on something cool. Okami HD coming to Switch this summer. Literally have a copy of it for PS4 sitting next to me. Fantastic title. Really a good little classic artsy kind of game. Being on the Switch, it will do very well, 100%. They showed a bunch of gameplay from Mario Tennis Aces, which is coming to Switch in June. Jason's most anticipated Switch game, Octopath Traveler, one of the worst titles in recent history, is out on July 13th. Undertale is coming to the Switch. To Ninny, a fan of the show, a friend, if you will. He is going to be very happy to hear that. No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again, got some new gameplay footage. A port of Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy comes to Switch on July 10th, along with Xbox One and PC versions of the game. The Goofy Sushi Battle game, Sushi Striker Way of the Sushido, oh my god, why, is now coming to the Switch. Little Nightmares will be out on Switch on May 18th. Wow, that's actually really cool. That's a cool one to come. Hyrule Warriors also comes out on the Switch on May 18th. Now, Hyrule Warriors, let's talk about that one for just a moment. Hyrule Warriors on the Switch is a game that I am incredibly excited to play. I played the, let's go trailer. I watched it played through entirely on the Switch. I watched it play through entirely on the Wii U rather, on Twitch, and the game overall is super fun looking. It is super fun looking. See, look at this. So May 18th for this one. I love the look of it. I love the way the gameplay functions. It's just right up my alley. And with amiibo functionality, definitely interesting stuff. This is one of those games that was, it was victimized by the Wii U, I believe. It could have been so much more than it was, but it is awesome to see it coming to the Switch. I was so excited when I heard this announced last year. Truly enjoyable. Includes all the DLC, all that good stuff. Cannot wait for that one. Going to be a fantastic little title, I would say. Going to be a fantastic little title. So, moving along, Trump, well, I guess Trump and the rest of the White House, meeting on video game violence was unproductive and bizarre. There's some programming that contains just absolute mind-boggling violence. I think it's pretty good. I have Hyrule Warriors on 3DS, but I might get it for Switch as well. Yeah, the 3DS and the Switch version, or the 3DS and the Wii U versions of the game, they differed a bit. Based on, you know, what I saw, but the Switch version incorporates all of that content in. Yo, Yami, what's going on? Yami, perhaps? Genesis, how's it going? But essentially, it incorporated every bit of DLC in from both versions of the game, so you have the complete version that isn't divided by the Switch and the 3DS versions of the game. Today, President Trump brought together top executives from the gaming industry, parent groups, and members of Congress for a meeting to discuss violence in video games. Announced last week as part of President Trump's response to the Parkland shooting, the meeting was hastily assembled and has been criticized as purposeful distraction for more concrete gun control measures. You don't say. Obviously, this is probably a bit biased since it is coming from The Verge, which is a tech company. They cover video game news. This is such a joke, I would agree. If I had to say so. Let's look at the video that they showed. This is what was showed at the White House to detail video game violence, okay? I think the top comment on one of these, on this video was from Devolver Digital, and they said, "Where can we pre-order?" This game doesn't even look fun. What even is this? Is this Dead by Daylight? I mean, here's the thing. In the context of the game of Modern Warfare 2, the no Russian mission was very imperative. It was very imperative whenever you were trying to figure out what was going on within Modern Warfare 2. Was this displayed to Trump, or did Trump display this? Trump displayed this, to my knowledge. That's to my understanding. I will go back and check the article. But Trump watched this, and the people gathered to watch this as well. That was Dead by Daylight. That's what I thought. It looked like that kind of game. I thought that was what it was. I've never really gotten into Dead by Daylight. Unfortunately, some people have said I would enjoy it. But the no Russian mission in the context of what was going on with Modern Warfare 2, this was imperative to the storytelling. To show this and just display it as is incredibly violent, 100%, but it literally was just a small portion of the game. I mean, Modern Warfare 2 overwhelmingly was a masterpiece, for lack of a better term, you know? And when it comes down to it, this is incredibly violent stuff, but it's one of those things where that's not what the conversation is about. It's not about what is happening within the games. It's about what's happening in real life. In fact, if you go on Reddit this morning, let's go ahead and branch off a little bit. Let's see. Hello? Well, there was an article here. They must have changed the Reddit algorithm, but essentially it said that 80% of those that were involved in mass shootings had no interest in playing games whatsoever. You can give it a Google. I know that it's there. I believe that Activision didn't remaster Modern Warfare 2 just because of that mission alone. I've heard that it's in development, actually. I've heard they're working on it, and it should be coming out in 2019 because of the fact that it's going to be 10 years since the original was released. So I suppose we'll be following up with that on another episode of Caffeinated later on. But with that being said, this is just this is just ridiculousness, you know? Obviously, when it comes down to it, the people that are more than likely meeting because of this gun control issue are older. They more than likely don't play games. They don't understand the culture of it. And the conversation isn't around games. It's around what is happening culturally. It's around gun control overwhelmingly. And of course, this is all just my opinion. You know, everybody has their own little take on the situation. I understand that. And I'm not going to be getting too political because I never do, but it's worth talking about here that the gun control / video game talk is far from over. I thought we were past this, to be honest. I thought we were done talking about what was happening with the connection between video games and gun violence. I thought that had been disproved long ago, but I suppose, as with a lot of the aspects of society, there's a little bit of a regression going on, and that's all I'm going to be saying about that. But essentially, the meeting was held. There was not much accomplished, and Donald Trump really didn't get much done when it comes to video game violence. And also, it's worth talking about the other forms of media, such as movies, books, music. There's a lot of violence in everything in our modern society, and so to pin it all on gaming, a little bit unfair, I would say, a little bit unfair. Moving on. Gabe Newell has made a statement and said, "We are back to making and shipping games over at Valve. This is major." When did it start? The video games spawned violence a long time ago. I mean, I've seen videos from the late 80s, early 90s talking about video game violence. It's one of those things where whenever there's a new form of entertainment and people are seeing what's going on with some kind of new concept, then it is going to be criticized. It's going to be hard for people to understand it and really get the full grasp of what's happening when you don't immerse yourself in that environment in the same way that we have. If you're on Twitch, I consider you immersed in the environment of the gaming industry, in the environment of entertainment. I figure you are pretty much on the cutting edge of everything as far as most people go. And so, with that being said, you know, we have a different perspective as compared to somebody who has never touched a game controller, who has never seen a PlayStation, whether it be the one that was released back in the late 90s or the one that's released today that you can buy in the form of a PlayStation 4 Pro. You understand what I'm saying? It's a little bit of a different kind of concept, but Gabe Newell, we're back to making and shipping games. According to a series of tweets by producer Jeff Keighley, famous for the Game Awards and a couple of other things that he's done in the past, but primarily the Game Awards these days, Gabe Newell has announced that Valve is ready to step back into the games industry as a game developer. Keighley also shared several concept art screenshots of Valve's upcoming card game Artifact. "Yesterday, I spent the afternoon up at Valve, stunning new office in Bellevue. We're back to making and shipping games," Gabe Newell assured me, as he started to share details of Play Artifact, which is the account you can go and check out the new card game that is a collaboration between the makers of Magic and the world of Dota. Sort of interesting. It was kind of a big letdown back whenever it was released or announced a couple of years back. But the new digital card game coming later this year, so let's check out this screenshot. I want to see this, actually. So there's a little bit of a trailer. Nothing big here, you know. Gabe said that future games will combine development of software alongside hardware, similar to how Nintendo designs hardware systems to bring new gameplay ideas to life. Another Artifact poster to share. So that's pretty much what we've got going on. Sounds like Half-Life is going to be a thing. I hope so. That would be interesting, but I highly doubt that Half-Life 3 is ever going to be coming out. I want to make that very clear. Shipping games is a big keyword. As far as I'm concerned, a card game isn't that hopeful. No, I think that they're talking about stuff that's outside. We're back to making and shipping games. Why you always lying? Beautiful. I love the internet. I love the internet so much for this reason right here. But I would love to see them get out of the realm of card games alone. I think that card games are cool, but when it comes down to it, we need more. Valve is capable of so much more. I mean, we've seen them make so many incredible things. Counter-Strike is a foundation of esports. It's a foundation of streaming on Twitch. It's a foundation of first-person shooters. And to take those skills that you have right there and only make a card game is criminal. You need to do more because you can do more. You know, it's like if somebody is incredibly intelligent and they go into school and they don't even give it a shot and they just take the easiest classes. And I'm talking about myself. No, I'm just kidding. And they take the easiest classes, and it's one of those things where they have so much more potential. That's what I'm seeing here with Valve. With that being said, let's get back into the article itself. Holla. There we go. Got it. Back in January 2017, Gabe Newell had an AMA on Reddit where he responded with a simple yes to the question, is Valve still working on any fully fledged single-player games? The Source 2 engine was officially announced by Valve in 2015 Game Developers Conference, and it has been used to upgrade Dota 2. This long intermission between their single-player games is not new. In between Half-Life and Half-Life 2, Valve spent 6 years releasing multiplayer-only games based on mods, with the couple of Half-Life expansion packs by Gearbox thrown in for good measure. They took their sweet Valve time to work on the Source engine that made Half-Life 2 groundbreaking. Hopefully Artifact is only a flexing of their creative muscles from here on. That's kind of the way that I see it. I don't see this being the future. Just give the IP to Naughty Dog. Hold on a sec. excuse me. Just give the IP to Naughty Dog. They themselves asked for it. I bet they could make a sequel that would satisfy fans. I feel like they could. It's one of those things where it's a complex issue because Half-Life 3, it's almost like a gaming, a piece of gaming lore of biblical proportions where it's just such a legendary idea. It's such a legendary concept that if you made it, regardless of who makes it, it's going to be criticized endlessly because there is very little that a new game can do to live up to the level of hype that is set for a game like Half-Life 3. I don't see it being able to achieve that 100%. But with that being said, I would love to see what they can do with it. I don't know how it will end up working, but going to be some interesting stuff, I would say. Moving right along, I opened up Epic Games. Let's look at the Fortnite launcher, shall we? It's going to pop up. Come on, baby. Just go ahead and do it. You're not going to do it? Fantastic. The Division 2 has officially been announced. But when? We'll find out at E3. I bet they can make a sequel that would satisfy fans. I feel like they could, probably. I feel like they could. A sequel to Tom Clancy's The Division is coming, according to what looks to be a news release that's evidently went out early to German language business news website. This has been confirmed. It is coming at the time of making this. Obviously, it has been updated. Well, the post references a logo above that is hosted on an Ubisoft website. In the news released, Julian Grady, maybe the creative director of Massive Entertainment, says the studio is working on Tom Clancy The Division 2. Massive is leading an effort that involves 5 other studios: Ubisoft Annecy, Red Storm, Reflections, Ubisoft Bucharest, yeah, and Ubisoft Shanghai. I'm not a bright individual when it comes to this kind of thing. When? No, why? Actually, surprisingly enough, I've been playing a good bit of The Division over the past couple of days, and it didn't do well when it launched, but as the game kind of evolved and developed and kind of grew into itself, it is not that bad of a game. I've been playing it the past couple of days. I bought the season pass because it was $12 a couple of days ago, and I thought I would give it a shot, but it's not that bad. I would recommend going back if you can get your hands on all of the content for it, and to give it another shot if you want to. It's going to be interesting. I am glad they are starting over, I suppose. And they did do a follow-up to this, and they had an interview with some other gaming news organization, and they were talking about why they were doing a new game, and I suppose we'll talk about that later on, because to be honest, I didn't read the article, and I don't want to make assumptions, but I know that why I would do it. I don't know why they would do it. But we do have the Division 2 coming. So essentially, that's what we've got. There's nothing significant. There's nothing, no kind of big news or any kind of announcement trailer or anything. More info is coming at E3. But as I said, I've been playing a good bit of The Division over the past couple of days, just getting back into it since we have had this big announcement. And I feel like this is going to do fairly well because, and this isn't obviously the only reason it's going to do well, but Destiny 2 didn't pan out the way that Activision and Bungie had hoped. That was going to be the big group grinding game, the way that I kind of see it. And so, with that big Goliath of a game being kind of out of the way, I feel like The Division 2, since it has a similar nature to it, I would say, is going to be much more able to take the spotlight and really get a lot of that attention put on it that Destiny 2 missed out on. Will they discontinue the sponge-like health system? That is my question. I don't think they probably will. I feel like that's kind of the draw of it, is because you can kind of just load your bullets into an enemy like they are, a giant boss like in Destiny 2. That's just kind of the nature of the game. I would love to see something that's a little bit more precise. Maybe a hardcore mode. That would be pretty cool. I would love to see maybe a mode that incorporates the elements of Wildlands into the mix. I feel like that would be pretty neat overall. But that's pretty much what we've got. That is what we've got. But a big, huge Twitch live stream that was roughly, there was going to be a live stream in 10 minutes. Well, we're not going to be worrying about that. But the Division 2 is coming. Exciting stuff. I enjoy that kind of announcement. And also, to follow up with all of this, for those that have PS4s, there is a flash sale going on right now on the PlayStation Network. If you wanted to check it out, get in on that. Dying Light, the following enhanced edition for $14. Really solid game. Essentially, Dying Light came out in 2015, I believe. Dying Light really, January 27th of 2015, so it's over 3 years ago since this game came out, and obviously pretty much a zombie shooter kind of thing. It's a big open world setting. They had so many expansions and have had so many updates that this game is one of the most fleshed out zombie experiences that I can remember to date. That sounds amazing. Knack 2, $20. Arcade Game Series 3-in-1 pack. You get, what is that? Looks like Pac-Man, Galaga, and Dig Dug. 3 amazing arcade games. $279. It's $279 for Galaga, Pac-Man, and Dig Dug. Dig Dug, God, that's part of my childhood. I love that kind of thing. Love it so much. With that being said, you've got a couple of other games here. This game, big huge pile of garbage. Big huge steaming pile of garbage. I watched some of this gameplay. It looks alright. Ooh, God, I hate that game. The Ezio collection goes down from 50 to 20. You're getting closer to the part that I would buy that, the point that I would go ahead and go in on that, but not there quite yet. Let's go ahead and go more through this. Unity, $11.99, too high. Let's see what else. Ooh, Loco Roco 2 Remastered, $7.49. Alright, GTA San Andreas for the PS3, $5.99. Not too bad, not too bad. I love looking at sales. Like, sales are just my thing. Like, who doesn't like a good sale? Dead Island Franchise Pack, $8.99 for PS3 players. $8.99. Bloodborne is free this month. Yes, that is a fantastic point, my friend. If you have a PlayStation Plus subscription, you can get Bloodborne for free this month, along with a game called Ratchet and Clank, which in and of itself is a pretty cool little perk that you have there. So if you want to check those out and you have a PlayStation Plus subscription, very neat stuff right there. Yeah, PlayStation Plus, if you have a PS4, I would highly recommend getting PlayStation Plus. Super interesting game, super awesome overall, but Bloodborne is going to be free for the next, I suppose, rest of March, and I'll probably be checking it out on stream. I played Bloodborne whenever it came out. I bought it a couple of days after it came out, and so that was a really fun experience overall. I enjoyed my time with it. I never got around to finishing it because I'm not quite so accustomed to Souls games as compared to other types of games that I do end up playing, but with that being taken into account, I want to dive back into it. I want to get back into that world. I want to revisit Yharnam and find my hidden glory, which is more than likely non-existent for Souls games. But so essentially, that's what I've got right here. I have Bloodborne on disc. Guess I can sell it now. I sold it a long time ago. I had it on disc, and I just got rid of it. And I think I got $30 for it, which was 2 thumbs up for me. But so that's going to be the gist of how this show does end up working here on twitch.tv/TheSamuelAdams. Customarily, it's going to be Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Schedule is subject to change with life things that go on, work that may have to be done. I may have to go in early for a couple of events here and there, but essentially, every weekday morning here at 6 a.m., you can wake up with me, grab a cup of coffee, enjoy your gaming news, and figure out what you've got going on for the day, while also figuring out what's going on in the gaming space. Crunch is doing a Bloodborne playthrough at the moment. For those that do not know who that is, twitch.tv/Mr_Crunchberry. He is doing a playthrough of Bloodborne, having a good time with it. But yes, I'm going to be very, very interested to see what exactly is going to be happening with the rest of this show. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the first episode of Caffeinated. And, of course, if you are going to be watching this later on, thank you for watching this. It's going to be available in VOD form on Twitch and also on YouTube. But essentially, this is going to be how it goes. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day on the first ever premiere of Caffeinated. Lol, God, I'm tired. Same, my dude. Same. But I have to go to work here in just a couple of minutes, so I hope you guys have a fantastic Saturday. I will talk to you later on tonight, where we will be more than likely playing some Sea of Thieves if the beta is still up, and on top of that, I'm going to be kind of messing around in a couple of other games. Might do some arcade games as well. I really want to get back into Metal Slug 3, a classic game that is a foundation of who I am as a person. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for checking out Caffeinated, and I will talk to you soon. Peace. Genesis, thank you for that follow. Appreciate you becoming part of the brewery. Welcome to the club, my friend. Welcome to the club.